Welcome, I'm Cassandra, and this is your general forecast for October 2018. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so for the first card, this is Virgo Sun, Virgo Moons, and Virgo Risings. So we have the Fool in the reverse position. So this is definitely indicating that we are getting a new start, or perhaps we desire a new start. Now, of course, this start is one that has, some innocence and some joy surrounding it. But with the Fool card being in the reverse position, this is where we need to be really careful. Even though we are ready for this new start, we desire this new start, we have to be careful, especially of speaking impulsively, and this is where we really need to be careful of thoughtless actions. Yeah. So we need to be careful that we don't make foolish decisions. We need to make sure that we are thinking things through, even though we're really ready for this new start. This can be indicating that there are some delays and difficulties associated with getting this new start going in the right direction. Now, a delay is not the end of the world, but it is definitely super frustrating. And so, that frustration and that stress and tension building up, sometimes we can react and maybe say some things that could not necessarily be considered so nice. So we do need to be careful of what we say. It's not everyone else's fault that, we are where we are. So just try to be careful of your actions and your words. I mean, to each his own. Every Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign is different. Not all of us, are going to potentially say or do something like this. But overall, this is definitely indicating that there is some sort of delay regarding us getting this new start. Perhaps some of you have started, to go down this new path. And maybe you're seeing delays, and maybe things are just becoming frustrated. Don't give up. We don't want to give up and sit down. Think of the delays and the obstacles as like trees laying in our path. Well, you don't want to just sit down on that tree and think about what was me. We want to basically get up and get our hands dirty like Virgo, and Earth, roll those sleeves up and let's start pushing those logs off our path, so that we can move forward. Okay. Alright, so I got two clarification cards that came out. The first one is the Emperor. So, yeah, this is definitely indicating, yes, we want this new start because we are ready to step into our own power. We are ready to be, in a position of authority. We're just ready to take control. We're ready to take control of our life. We're ready to take control of our destiny. We're owning that. We're ready. We've been ready. So the Emperor is definitely an authority type of figure. For some of you, this could be, maybe you're applied for a position. Maybe you're waiting for a promotion or whatever it may be to get into a position of authority. Well, we could be experiencing some, unexpected delays or obstacles that pop up. So, it's kind of one of those times where, maybe we're being tested. How bad do we want it? Are we going to put the work in? Or are we just going to, speak impulsively and, become our own worst enemy. We're already so hard on ourselves as it is, so I feel most of you will be alright. Okay, so the next clarifying card is the Five of Wands. So this is a card of confusion and struggles and conflicts. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that you might be having conflicts. You know, maybe there could be some power struggles between you and other people. Maybe there's some power struggles between you and someone in authority. Maybe you feel that someone in authority is preventing you from having this new start. Now, for some of you, this could just be indicating that perhaps maybe we are reacting defensively, and maybe we're just in a bit of a mood. But we do need to be careful because, you know, we don't want to be starting conflicts, and if we speak impulsively or react impulsively, you know, this can just breed more arguments, more conflicts. And this is the type of card where, you know, it could start out as something very small, you know, say a minor misunderstanding, and it can literally morph into something completely different where it's like it started because of this little misunderstanding, and now everybody's throwing their, you know, suppressed issues that they've been holding back, and it turns into 100 other, you know, verbal arguments, and then it's like, gee, where did this start, you know? So, yeah, I mean, definitely be careful of the conflicts. You know, we don't want to attract any more opposition, you know. We don't need it. We really don't need any more opposition. I mean, to each his own. Some will look at it as a challenge. Okay, so this would be the circumstances. So we have the Temperance card in reverse. So this is very much a card, whether it's in the upright or reverse position, I always say this is us being tested. It's a test. Point blank, period. Our patience and our tolerance levels and our ability to work with other people is being tested. Now, anytime that I see this card in the reverse, I always say this is where we need to slow down and smell the roses. Because impatience comes up with this card in a big way. It's like, you know, I'm tired of waiting. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. You know, I should have already been there. I'm just ready. Let's get things moving now. You know, and this is that card where we really need to slow down because we could be missing opportunities. And that's why I say slow down and smell the roses. You know, maybe you see a bush of roses. You stop just for a second. Admire their beauty. Admire their fragrance. Because this is where we can end up running into someone that perhaps we weren't expecting. And this person could actually present us with an opportunity. This can manifest in many different ways though. But you know, this is just the main example that I tend to use. Because it's a call to slow down because we're missing out on opportunities. Because it's like we're surrounded by the opportunities. But we're just not seeing it because we're so dead set focused on getting something done. And we're just, you know, we're like at our wits' end. We're like, I'm ready to have it done already, you know. But there's so many opportunities that we could be missing out on. So we really have to be careful and slow down. Now, another thing with this card is when Temperance is in reverse, this is indicating that our emotions and our intellect are out of balance. So this is like our emotions are making our decisions for us, and that can be disastrous. So we really need to try to take our emotions out of our decision-making process, especially when it comes to, say, like financial and work matters, you know, because our emotions are not going to help in that situation. This is where we're going to need our logic, our intellect. So, and besides, you know, when our emotions are in the driver's seat behind the steering wheel, things get dangerous. So, we just need to take that step back. We need to bring ourselves back into balance. Slow down. And for those of you who have to work closely with other people, and even if you don't work, you know, maybe you're having to deal with people. Maybe you live with a bunch of people. You know, this is a card where, you know, maybe you're feeling like you got a bit of a short fuse lately, you know, and it's like you just don't have the patience or the tolerance to deal with people and their issues. But this is one of those cards where it's like we really need to calm down, be tolerant, and be patient. Here, be willing to hear other people out, because no matter how corny they may sound, they might actually be able to bring a good idea to the table, so to speak, you know? But we won't know unless we hear them out. But we need to be able to work with other people, and especially if you're having career issues or you're wanting to start something new career-wise, this card is very important. You know, we have got to be able to work with others, to communicate with others properly. You know, we have to be ready to work as a team. You know, for those who own a business, you know, or say work in management in a position of authority, sometimes this card could be indicating that perhaps maybe you're not listening to, say, your employees or your customers or whatever it may be. And they could actually be presenting us with a valid point of view and some very valid information, but you just might want to blow it off. And, you know, this, we don't want to do that, because that can end up getting us a bad reputation, and that is so not what we want, you know? Especially if you do own a business and you're experiencing some issues. You know, that's a card that's like, hey, wake up. We need to pay attention to these customer issues. We need to address it professionally. Hear them out. You may think it's a bunch of BS. That's fine. But, you know, we need to hear them out, and we need to be professional about it. You know, we need to address it. But I get it. You know, we're having a bit of a short fuse. So, again, just remember, you know, that there are opportunities, and some of these opportunities are right out in the open, and some of them are hidden. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this card is indicating that we're being tested. You know, and if we pass the test, then, you know, success, here we come. You know, we got to be patient. We got to be tolerant. But I certainly understand why some of you may be experiencing some issues, because especially if financial situations could be coming up, or finances could be a bit tight. Well, yeah, this is definitely going to transfer to many other areas of our life, and it will make us tend to react in a way where we have a bit of a short fuse. You know, we might be a little bit more temperamental than we normally are. Okay, so this is the focus position. So we have the 9 of coins in the reverse position. So the focused position is like, this is our focus of the entire reading. This is what we're focused on. So the 9 of coins in reverse, this is a card where we're worried about money matters. For some of us, this is like a loss of money. For some of us, this could be indicating that, you know, we just have an inadequate sum of money. You know, maybe we have some, but we just don't have enough. And sometimes this can be about investments. You know, sometimes this can be where we've, you know, made an investment, you know, say years ago. And then we can find out that that investment that we made is, like, not even worth what we put into it, you know. So it can be pretty crushing. Sometimes this can be about, you know, losing some income. So for some, this could be a job loss. You know, and let me be clear, this, has already happened, so you will know exactly where you fit with this card. So for some, this is just in general, feeling like you might be restricted, in some way. And it's like we're just not happy with our present financial conditions. Now, we really need to be careful when it comes to issues of speculation regarding money, okay? This is one of those cards where if you're considering making an investment of some sort, I'm going to say my advice is it's a no from me, okay? Now, again, this is a general reading for the masses, and do what you feel is best for you, and only you know what's best for you, okay? But this is definitely a warning where we need to be paying attention. We need to be buckling down. We need to be budgeting, Now, sometimes with this card, we might have someone that wants, or shall I say, needs some help. And maybe you're feeling generous. Maybe you want to help. But I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't right now, especially if this is about money. If someone is needing financial assistance, maybe someone wants to borrow money because they're going through a tough time and you know what it's like, so you just want to help. This is that card that's like, no, your heart's in the right spot, but your finances can't take it right now, because if you haven't seen it yet, you soon will. You're going to need that money, so hang on to it. And that can be pretty frustrating and upsetting to not be able to help somebody that you want to help. But at the same time, by helping someone else financially, we're going to end up hurting ourselves. So that's only going to resonate with a few of you, but I feel that I have to give that message because it's going to resonate with a few. Okay. So for the clarification card, we get the 6 of coins in the reverse position. So this is a card of, receiving a bonus. Sometimes this can be a card about inheritances, an estate. Sometimes it can be about someone giving us money. Sometimes it can be about a money windfall. Sometimes it's about someone, giving us a loan. When it's in the reverse position like this can indicate that perhaps maybe for some of you who are expecting a certain amount of money, that can indicate that we don't receive as much money as we thought we were going to. For some of you, that can indicate, maybe you applied for a loan, but it's not as much as you thought it was going to be. Or, it could be like a loan that has strings attached. And for those who might be waiting on an inheritance, from an estate of sorts, that card can definitely indicate that an estate will be handled and distributed in an unethical way. So you might feel like you get the shit into the stick, so to speak. Excuse my French, I was trying to think momentarily of something else to say, but the more I try to stop, I get out of my channeling mode and I can't, so sorry about my language. Okay, so yeah, it can be really, really rough, especially if you are in this type of situation and a will is being distributed in an unfair, unethical way. So that can be really unfair. For some of you, this could even be an investment, something that you invested in. But it's like, it's like the potential for some money to come in is there, but it's just not enough. It's not enough for where we're at and for what we need. You know, it's not going to cover the expenses for everything. Or it's not what we were expecting. So that can be pretty crushing in itself. Okay, so this would be your recent past. So we have the Ten of Coins in the reverse. This is like a loss of money. For some of you, that could be a loss of money, you know, a loss of our bank account. It could be the loss of a job. You know, sometimes that can indicate that perhaps maybe there could have been some layoffs. Maybe you weren't happy at a particular job anymore. For some, you know, that could be a job just not working out. But no matter what, when the Ten of Coins is in reverse, the money is falling away from us. So there is a financial loss or a loss of, you know, a job. So a loss of money or a loss of job. Again, that is the recent past. For some of you, that could be the more distant past. For some of you, you could still be going through this situation, but just know that this energy is passing away from you, okay? So no matter what, it is a card that has to do with our past. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that so I'm very clear. Okay, so this would be the present, the here, the now. So we have the King of Cups in the reverse position. So this is like we've been emotionally provoked. You know, things could be, you know, a hot mess, you know, maybe in the home life, maybe in the family life. You know, sometimes this can be indicating that perhaps maybe our home or family life could be pretty volatile right now. Emotionally volatile, I should say. It's like we're, you know, going through a loss of some sort, and it's pretty emotionally provoking, you know, and this can make us kind of moody. Now, I should be clear, you know, for some of you, this could be a person in your life. It could be male, could be female, or this could be, you know, our overall energy and what we're going through. So either side there. Now, ultimately, you know, we're definitely going through an emotional situation, perhaps a loss of some sort that makes us emotional. And it's like we're being asked to rise up and face this issue with, you know, wisdom and maturity. But it's kind of like we're just too moody, you know, and it's like we want to just detach. We want to be left alone. And sometimes there can be an issue where maybe the whole entire truth is not being told. You know, maybe you might be going through some things and maybe you don't want everybody in your family or in your home or your friends or whatever it may be to know about every single little thing. Sometimes it can be about a certain situation. Maybe there's some of you that could be withholding. I by no means mean that all of you are withholding, okay? And not telling the whole truth, because some of you are being very straightforward with it and some of you won't be. So you'll know which side of the coin you fall on there. Now, you know, this is definitely indicating that we're having some very, you know, going through some very volatile emotions, you know, and these emotions can be pretty tough to deal with and to handle. But the sooner that we rise up and just deal with that issue and face it head on, that's when things will get better. But the more that we stay detached and moody and shy and, hermit like, we're not facing it when we're doing that. I'm not saying that it's not okay, because, a lot of us tend to naturally pull back and withdraw when we're going through something. We just don't need to get stuck there to where we end up, isolating to the point of becoming a hermit, We don't want to get stuck there. So it's okay to withdraw for a little while. I totally get it, especially when a situation first occurs that, it's stressful, and we don't necessarily want to talk about, all of our feelings immediately with everyone, so. But trust me, talking about it can help, providing that you're talking to, the right person. You don't want to talk to somebody who's just going to trigger you and, rub things in, so to speak. Sometimes it might help to talk to someone else that maybe don't know you or your situation, or someone that could be, neutral, so to speak, objective, because they're an outsider. Or, just take your time, but just don't allow yourself to isolate to the point of becoming a hermit. Because at some point we have to face this issue, but the sooner that we do it, the better off we'll be, okay? Okay, so it is clarified by the Ace of Cups. So, the Ace of Cups, this is a new start. For some of you, this could have been a new start within, say, a relationship. And the relationship could be one that was romantic. It could have been one that was platonic. It can go either way. Not every single relationship that comes up for the Ace of Cups is one that is about romantic love, It can certainly be indicating that for you, but not every single Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising wants to be in a relationship. So that's just the blunt of it there. But no matter what, with the Ace of Cups, it's, there's a new start, and it's one that has to do with the heart and the emotions. It can also be about our psychic development as well. Could even be about, a spiritual awakening, a new, spiritual philosophy. It could be many different things. Sometimes it can even be indicating fertility and the possible conception or birth of a child. It could be for you, or it could be for someone in your family or one of your friends. But, no matter what, this is a start that is one that is surrounded by joy and happiness, good health, all of those good things. Sometimes this can be the beginning of something, it could be the beginning of a new relationship. It could be the beginning of, maybe getting that dream job you always had. If you really are passionate about it and you love this certain job and you've always wanted to do it for, years and years and years, that's what it could be representing. So it's like this new start yet again, and we're still feeling like we're being emotionally provoked. Let me tell you, it's tough, but we're gonna make it through this. We will. We absolutely will. Okay, so and for some of you, maybe the sooner that we rise up and face the issues, maybe the sooner that we can, get moving in the direction of our new start, Sometimes it's not what we go through, it's how we react to it, it's how we handle it. Yeah. Okay. So this would be our near future. So we have the Six of Wands in the reverse position. Now with this card, it's like, you know, we've been working towards achieving a victory, you know, we're trying to accomplish something, and we've had, you know, that whole victory mindset of, you know, I'm going to get this, you know, I'm going to do it. And it's like we've just experienced so many delays, or it's like for some of us maybe the opportunities just are not available for us right now. But it's like, you know, we've just become tired, we've become exhausted on trying to achieve this, you know, and this is definitely a card of saying we need to take some time, you know, rest, relax, regroup, you know, let's find our balance again, because this can really help in a tremendous way. It can. Because, you know, when we have this card, it's like we're dealing with a lot of frustration and obstacles, stress, tension, you know, it's just like everything's kind of building up to a boiling point, you know, and so, you know, even anger can come up, and we really don't want to overreact to things. You know, every time we experience a delay, it is super, super frustrating, especially when it's something that we've worked hard for. But I always look at delays as they happen for a very good reason. And, you know, we don't always realize in the moment when we're going through things why we had to deal with all those delays. Sometimes it gets revealed to us at a later time, and sometimes we don't ever get to see why the delay happened. But I look at delays as they happen for a reason. They are pretty much cosmic, okay? Sometimes we're delayed, you know, trying to get out the door to go to work, you know. Maybe we end up being 10 minutes late because we thought we had our keys in our pocket, but we didn't. So then we got to go back into our home and search for our keys. So then we're 10 minutes behind, you know, on our way to work. Well, then you get caught up in traffic and you're like, what is this? Oh, wow, there was a major accident. Yeah, well, if you'd have took off on time, maybe you'd have been that one in the accident, you know. This is why delays can happen. Sometimes it's like a divine intervention. It's protecting us from something. Sometimes we get to see what we're being protected from, and sometimes we don't, okay? But what it comes down to is just have faith and know that when the time is right, it will happen. Don't lose your hope, okay? Yeah. We just really need to be patient. We have to be patient because we just need to ride the storm out, so to speak. Because it can't storm forever. That storm is going to stop. And we need to just ride it out. Because once we make it through that storm, the sun's going to come back out. And things are going to start going our way. You know? So we have to be ready. You know, and another thing I always like to look at is sometimes when we get something too easily, you know, too quickly, too much too soon can ruin it all, you know. So it's almost like, you know, yeah, we're going through these super frustrating delays, but hey, that's going to make the victory all the more sweeter once we get there, okay? And sometimes we may think that we want something, and maybe we really do, but maybe it's really not meant for us. Maybe, maybe that there's just something better out there for us, but we just can't always see it or acknowledge it in the moment. Okay, so it's clarified by the Queen of Coins, which is, this is our card. So just like the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles, we need to know. We need to be confident. We will get our victories. We will accomplish our goals, especially those that are of a financial or material nature. We'll get there, okay? But we need to be patient. Just like the Queen of Coins, when we say plant a seed, to grow a flower, we have to be patient, because just because we put that seed in the dirt and water it, we're not going to come back the next day and automatically have a flower, okay? It takes time. It takes patience. So we really need to be patient and tolerant and ride this storm out. Because we're going to get there. We're going to get what we need. We're going to get our finances together. We will. But we must be patient, and we must ride that storm out. So we're definitely having the attitude. We are focused on our finances, and growing them and nurturing. For some of you, you might even be teaching others how to obtain financial security, wealth. But I'm thinking for most of you, this is just, we're in our money making mode, so to speak. We're focused on our goals and achieving them. And, we're prepared to do the hard work. We really are. But doing hard work is totally different from having to be patient and to ride things out. So this is where the friction and the difficulties coming in, because it's like we're not afraid to work to get what we want. We have no problems working to get what we want. But when, circumstances are preventing us, that becomes super frustrating. And this is why I just keep talking about the delays and why, they really do happen for a purpose, even though we can't necessarily see why in the moment. But I'm telling you, it's happening for a reason. Just have faith. Just know you're going to get your goals. You're going to accomplish them. You're going to get what you want, okay? But we must be patient, because our patience is being tested, and typically these types of tests come up right before we're getting ready to get where we want to be in life, okay? And the reason why these things happen is, how bad do you want it? Sometimes it can be, the dark forces trying to come in and trying to yank us back down, but, you can't give in to that either. To me, I just feel this is more situational circumstances, delays, but, it's happening for a reason. That's why I said we're hardworking. We're not afraid to work for what we want, We're not afraid to roll our sleeves up and get dirty, working. So dealing with all these delays, this is not so much where, we're so much well versed at, Not that we don't have patience. A lot of us have patience. Some of us are super patient. But when it comes to financial matters, especially if you happen to be dealing with inadequate, income, that makes it harder. So I totally understand why the delays would be even harder to deal with. Okay, so this is how other people see you. So we have the Two of Swords in reverse position. So this is like we went through a period of indecision. We had a choice that we had to make. So we literally had to decide, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Which way should I go? Which one shall I choose? So you've made your choice. You know which way you're going to go now. The best thing that I can advise is, you know, just be careful with who you tell that to. Yeah. Discretion, that's the better word right there. Discretion. Okay. So this is our hopes or our fears. Sometimes this can give us a bit of subconscious information. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. So this card is just basically reiterating everything I've already said, just in a little bit different of a way. You know, this is where it's like that magical luck where things just come together. Oh, so easy. It's not there for us right now. We have to work hard to get what we get. And it's the delays that we're dealing with. So it's kind of like some of you may be feeling like you got bad luck. Some of you may be feeling like, what's luck? I don't know what that is. Never had any. It's just one of those cards where it's like we have to be ready to put the hard work in, which, you know, we got no problems doing that. But in this case, it's be ready to put that hard work in as far as dealing with those delays, because it is what it is. We have to deal with it. It's almost fated, you know, when I see the Wheel of Fortune card in reverse. To me, it's a situation that is more fated that we're supposed to go through. And like I said, you know, sometimes waiting and, you know, it taking a little bit longer, well, that can make it all the more sweeter once we have actually obtain what we want. You know, because we had to go through the delays and the frustrations and all the obstacles, you know. And so once we actually get there and achieve what we want, it makes it so much sweeter, you know. So then we can enjoy it even more. I mean, I know, this is rough. It's a hard pill to swallow, I get it. I really do. Okay, so for the final outcome, we have the Six of Cups. So this is a card that has a lot to do with our past. And our past coming back in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes this can be like us having some good memories from the past. But a lot of times this occurs due to someone from the past or from our past that, you know, resurfaces in our life. You know, sometimes this can be a family member, sometimes this can be a, you know, a sibling, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle. Sometimes it can be, you know, an old childhood friend. Sometimes it can be, you know, even an old lover, you know. Sometimes it can be someone who has ties to our past. Maybe we didn't necessarily know them, but somehow, some way, they have a tie to our past. You know, it could be, for some of you, maybe you meet someone who might end up knowing someone that you know. Maybe they went to the same high school you went to. Maybe, you know, a family member introduces you to somebody. You know, many different ways this can manifest in all of our lives. Now, there's always you know, an opportunity that comes with this card. And the opportunity that stems from this card is one that has ties to our past, or, you know, our childhood. So, you know, this could be an opportunity to, you know, develop a new relationship, or to potentially have a relationship with someone that we've already been with before. Sometimes this can be, you know, a job offer that comes our way. And the job offer could very much have some connection to the past. In some way, shape, or form, there is a connection to our past. So this is a very positive card. It brings up, you know, definitely good memories. Sometimes this can be a card where we can end up receiving a gift. Sometimes even an inheritance. And if it's the inheritance, sometimes this can indicate that it's going to be one that's big, you know. So for those who are going through that, hey, good for you. Shoot, I'm a little jelly, a little jealous. No. Okay, but I mean, you know, this is very positive. So, but again, you know, there's very much ties, you know, to family and our past. And an opportunity that comes our way that has a connection to our past. Okay, so, alright, so I have two clarification cards. The first one is the Four of Wands. So, this is very much a card that has to do with our family. Sometimes this can be like a family reunion, you know, or a family get-together. Sometimes this can be, you know, old friends that resurface. You know, perhaps there's a reunion with you and a friend, or a group of friends, whatever it may be. But the Four of Wands, when it's in the reverse or the upright, it doesn't matter. This is a time to enjoy and be grateful and thankful for everything that we do have in our life, no matter how big the blessing is or how small the blessing is. It's a time to take stock of what we have, you know, and what we're grateful and thankful for. This is a card of giving thanks. But this can indicate, you know, reunions, you know, a celebration of some sorts. It's not, you know, like a huge one, but, you know, there's definitely a connection to family and, you know, old friends. So, yeah. Now, anytime I see this card, I always go off on my little rant here. And I think that this is much needed for some of us. Some of you have already heard me go through this. For those who are new here, you definitely want to listen to this. Especially if you're really resonating with these frustrations and these crazy delays that are just driving us bonkers, okay? This is a card where we have to be grateful and thankful for everything that we have. And typically when we're going through all these frustrations and delays and setbacks and things just appearing to be at a standstill, we tend to end up getting sucked up by the pessimism, and we can end up focusing on everything that we're lacking rather than what we have at the moment. So it's really easy to get caught up into that negative type of energy and that negative frame of mind. But we don't want to be focusing on what we lack. That's an issue, okay? And it's one that can, you know, push the very things that we want further away from us. So what we want to do is we want to focus on everything in our life that we're grateful and thankful for. You know, some people will say, oh, I don't have anything to be grateful and thankful for. Well, yes, you do. You know, I get everybody's lives are different. Some people have had a little bit easier of a life. Some people have had, you know, a crazy life where everything's been super hard. I get it. But no matter how easy or difficult your life has been, you still have blessings. You still have things to be grateful and thankful for. You know, we tend to take things for for granted. You know, the small things. You know, if you have a home and you have a place to lay your head tonight with a roof over your head to go to sleep, you got more than a lot of people do. If you're going to eat a meal tonight, well, I don't even want to bring the statistics up because that's a whole nother video, okay? But if you're eating tonight, trust me, that is a blessing, okay? It's small things like this that we tend to take for granted because they're just there and we're not focused on it, you know, so we just look at it like it's been there, it's nothing. Well, it is something. It's something huge, actually, because there are so many people that do not have a place to sleep tonight. They do not have a meal to eat. They don't have the luxury of having a smartphone or an iPad or a tablet, you know, or a computer or what have you to watch, you know, readings on the internet. You know, these are things that are easy to take for granted, but we really need to be grateful and thankful for everything we have. You know, we're healthy, great. That's a blessing. That's one of the biggest blessings we can have because let me tell you, our health is priceless, you know? Our well-being is priceless. But again, you know, if you are having issues with this whole lack and focusing on everything that we're lacking, everything that we don't have, everything that's not coming together, this is where we need to shift our thoughts, okay? And if you really make yourself start to count your blessings and you start feeling grateful and thankful, the more that you start really being honest with yourself and looking at your life, you know, and being grateful and thankful for every single blessing, no matter how big, how small, that puts you in the mind frame of gratitude, okay? And when you're in that attitude of gratitude rather than the attitude of lack, then we can end up attracting more things to be grateful and thankful for. So if you're getting caught up by the whole lack mentality, trust me, start, if you have to, write it down. Look at it every day and remind yourself how grateful and thankful you are. You know, there are many things for us to be grateful about. I could literally make a video alone on that would probably be a few hours. There are so many things that we could be grateful and thankful for and that we should be, you know. But again, you know, just shift your frame of mind and focus on what is good, what you have now. Appreciate it. Know that you are grateful and thankful and know that you are blessed. Because the more that we can put ourselves in that frame of mind, wow, we're going to attract more great things to come our way. Now, the second clarifying card, Ten of Cups. So, for some of you, this opportunity could very much result in a relationship, a romantic one. For some of you, this could be resulting in a marriage. For some of you, this could be resulting in perhaps, you know, getting a new home. For some of you, this, you know, that don't want to be in a relationship, this opportunity could be one where perhaps you're reunited with some family and it's very happy times, you know. But this is a card of contentment. You know, it's like that happily ever after, and you know, everyone's happily ever after is different. But it is a card of, you know, our happiness, our contentment. So that is absolutely positive. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Coins. So this is where we put a lot of our own hard work, our energy, our time. We've invested a lot of ourselves into, you know, an investment of some sorts. And we're just looking at it like, hey, I am ready for my harvest. Where is my harvest? You know, where's my money? You know, I'm waiting for that harvest to come in. I've worked my hiney off to get it, you know. Where's it at? So I can tell that you guys are definitely focused on, you know, where is that money at, you know, because I've been working very hard. I'm ready to get paid off. This is also a card of you reap what you sow. So it's definitely a good idea to make sure that, you know, once we do reap our rewards for our hard work and our patience and our tolerance, you know, make sure that you plant some good seeds for the next harvest. At least if you want to see a good return. Okay, so it's clarified by the Hanging Man. Yeah, so this is a card where we could be considering a complete reversal of lifestyle. We may be considering giving up certain things so that we can go in a new direction. You know, this can be a card of making sacrifices. You know, perhaps maybe we're considering making sacrifices that we've never made before. Maybe we haven't ever even thought of making a sacrifice like that, but ultimately, it's like we're ready for something new. We're ready for something with more meaning. But this card is also very much about a shift in our awareness. Okay? And, you know, once this shift happens, we can't go back. So this is very much a card that ends up changing us. It's also a card that has a lot to do with prophetic abilities. So for some of you, you might be seeing an increase in your own psychic abilities. It's also a card where we definitely need to be paying attention to our dreams. And we definitely need to be paying attention to our own intuition, you know, our gut feelings. Because the psychic ability is definitely growing within us. But again, you know, this is representing a new start, okay? And it's a new start that, you know, that maybe we wouldn't have taken 10 years ago. But we're in a completely different frame of mind now, and we're ready for something different. Different. You know, we're willing to take that chance. For some of you, you might want to do something that has, you know, a higher purpose behind it, you know, a higher meaning. Maybe some of you want to feel like you're truly needed in the world. It's like, yeah, we need to make money, but I also want to feel like I'm making a difference at the end of the day. You know, truly. But again, you know, it's also a change in awareness. So, yeah. But I'm telling you, things look good, guys. They really do. Granted, I'll give it to you, it's going to be rough. But, I mean, this outcome is good. So an opportunity is definitely coming, and it's going to have connections to the past. And like I said, if we can get into that frame of mind, you know, an attitude of gratitude, ooh, the doors that'll open to us will be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So get ready. I understand that, you know, there's some rough situations. We might be going through some emotional, volatile type of situations. But it's going to get better. We're going to make it through all this. The sun is about to come out, okay? Maybe you feel like you've been in the dark for a long time. But I'm telling you, the sun is about to rise. It's going to get better. Okay. Keep your head up. And be positive, Virgos. Be positive. We need to kick that pessimism to the side right now. Or at least try your best. I love you guys. And I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.